Hello, this is Renee Hahn with William Ravis Real Estate, serving Naples and surrounding areas. And today I am bringing you your monthly Naples real estate market update. I love doing these market updates. I watch the market constantly. When I get up in the morning, the first thing I do is I jump on. I have a walking treadmill that I'm on with a desk over it, and I truly just start to flip through some of the activity to keep abreast of what's going on in the market. So I always say, even if you're not an active buyer or an active seller, just having a pulse on the market is so important, because if you own property, it's nice to know what's going on around you and how your value may or may not be affected by that. So I'm always excited to bring you these monthly updates, to be able to give you some snippets of information. I will tell you lately, I'm starting to feel like a Florida weatherman. Why do I say that? I always joke that if you are a forecaster of weather in the Florida market, you can just about show up to work every day and say, in Florida today or in Naples today, we are going to have sunshine with a chance of rain. And you know what? 80% of the time, you're probably going to be spot on. Now, if you're in the weather prediction market, I am not downplaying the importance and the complexity of your role, so I don't want any text or thumbs down on that. I'm simply sharing that there are some things that start to feel very redundant. And as I bring you this month's market update, it may feel very redundant with what I've shared in prior months. So we always do a look back. That's 1 month back. So even though we're in the month of December, because we need to allow time for all of the reconciliation of closings and whatnot, we are going to be talking about data that is 2021 for November versus 2020 of November last year. Before I jump into the market report, I'd be remiss if I didn't take this opportunity to just say happy holidays. Whether you celebrate Kwanzaa, whether you celebrate Hanukkah, whether you celebrate Christmas, I hope that all of you are taking the opportunity to either do something you love, or even better, do something you love with people you love. It has been a crazy year. I'm sure as we buckle down, next year is going to have some similarities. So I hope that you get a chance to just charge your batteries, push pause on whatever occupies your time and energy on a normal course of things, and really enjoy yourself during these holidays. I am certainly grateful for all I get to do every year in serving people, whether it's personally in my volunteer world or with my family, or whether it's professionally in my real estate world. So thank you all for being a part of that, being a part of my life. Now, without further ado, let's talk about the market update. So a couple things I want to share. A very common message that we've been going through for quite honestly a good part of this year is inventory's low. We were even starting to have this discussion last year, but how low? If you look at November, so November of 21 again, compared to the same time last year, inventory is down 76.1%. That's quite drastic. Think about anything that if you were going to buy toilet paper and tomorrow there was 76.1% less toilet paper, there'd be some people going around without toilet paper. That's what's happening in the real estate marketplace. Not only is inventory down, which would be tough enough in and of itself, but we have continued demand up. And that's for a variety of reasons, some of which I won't go long on. Some people are anxiously wanting to get to the area because of lifestyle or because of weather. And as employers have loosened up their requirements on where their employees are located, thanks to COVID in part, people are starting to move where they want to live, not where the office used to be. You've also got some tax advantages for being here in Florida that people are taking advantage of. And those are just a couple of many reasons of why people are coming here. So when you've got inventory down 76.1% and demand rising, as those two axes cross, what that means is price growth, and we have had price growth. One of the things that's been interesting, because we've been watching prices continue to escalate, but I looked at a year-long graph the other day. I pulled it up on my website, which I would highly encourage you to do, www.yournaplesexpert.com. I've actually got under the For You section a market update page. And what's really cool about my market update page is it's got interactive real-time graphs. So you don't have to wait for me to bring you this message every month. You can go online, see what's been happening, hover over the graphs, and it'll actually give you additional data. Anyways, I was out there looking at pricing data, again, recognizing that prices have been accelerating. What amazed me when I saw it all compounded and accumulated into this graph is even though we had been steadily going up throughout the year, you see a really fast climb, exponentially higher than it had been around that April, May timeframe. And then you'll see another bump over the summer. So some people are amazed. I showed a house the other day that the buyers had closed on in September, and they were turning around and selling it for a couple hundred more thousand right here in December. And it is happening. I always tell people, you've got to decide what you're willing to pay, but there's pretty strong, proven performance that says people are buying at these prices. So you've got to decide the right time for you. The one thing I will say is, there have been people that thought, I'm going to wait for the market to slow down. And they've been sorely disappointed that what those prices were, say, 6 months ago, that they have continued to grow and in fact are now higher than what they would have even paid 6 months ago. When this will all stop and start to plateau, none of us know. Certainly there's a lot of talk in the market that next year we could be facing one or more jumps in interest rates. That will certainly affect our national real estate market. It's yet to be seen how much that is going to affect the Naples, Southwest Florida. I'm sure it's going to have some effect if indeed it happens. However, I will tell you this is such a heavy cash market that real estate interest rates don't tend to be felt as broadly, we'll say, in this area. Okay, back to some stats. The other thing I wanted to share is when you've got lower inventory, higher demand, no surprise, you've got price increases. And if you look at the median price for November of this year versus last year, it's up 31.3%. That's pretty significant. The one thing I thought was interesting here, and I'm just looking through my notes, when we talk about prices going up, what I don't want people to walk away from is feeling that Naples is no longer affordable, because that's not correct. So if you look at 50% of the closed sales in the month of November this year, so the one we just got out of, were sales that were priced below 500. So again, we talked about a price increase of 31.3%, but there is still affordable housing here. I don't want everybody to think that everyone in Naples lives in multi-million-dollar homes. There are certainly those beautiful homes available, and if you're in the market, I hope you'll call me to go see those. New listings. So not only are we down in inventory in general, but if you look at the pace at which new listings are coming onto the market, in November of 2020, we had 1,242 new listings come on the market during that month. This year, we only had 958 new listings, and that's across all Naples, all price points, all styles of homes. That's a 22.9% decrease year over year. So again, inventory's down, the pace at which new homes are coming on the market is slower. I will tell you though, I've been encouraged. Typically, you'd see a lot of listings held back until the month of January, because January, particularly in the middle of the month, is when we hit our all-time high number of people in Naples, because we are augmented with our standard population with all of the people that come here and stay for 3, 6, 7 months. And so those are all potential buyers for your homes. But I've been really encouraged to see that even in these, what I'll call off months, we're having properties continue to sell. So I've got properties that I've put on the market that I normally would have held back until next year, and I've had no problem selling those at all. So for sellers, don't worry about finding the perfect time to sell based on market conditions. I always say right now, find the perfect time that's right for you, based on what you've got going on in your life. A couple other things I wanted to mention. No surprise, days on market has also decreased by 70%. So that's, again, another consideration. Things are selling not only for more money, but faster. Median days on market used to be around 80 days last year this time. It's at 24 days right now. And as you'll know, if you're in the buying market, there are plenty of things that are selling way quicker than just that. Let me see if there's some others. So we talked about total closed sales, we talked about inventory, but closed sales was down 20.8%. Again, if you have less to sell, you're going to have less closings. However, look at those numbers. Because things are selling so well when they come on the market, even though closed sales is down over last year at the same time, it's still outperforming what the inventory is. So a greater proportion of what's available is selling. Again, no surprise there. I've mentioned that almost every month for the last 6 months. New listings, we already talked about being down. I did think this was interesting. If you look at single family inventory was down 65.4%, but condo inventory is down 85%. So, we talked about the overall inventory being down 76.1%. The condo inventory has declined at a much greater amount. One of the things we're seeing is because people who may have been planning to upgrade, downgrade, whatever it may be from the home they're in Naples, but they wanted to buy another one, because there's not as much available, you're seeing a lot of renovations going on. People have buckled down and said, well, gosh, if I can't go buy what I want, let me see if I can just take my current house and turn it into a home that is a better fit for what we need now. Those were the key highlights I wanted to share. Again, inventory down, demand up, prices up, days on market down. If I can be of any assistance to you or your loved one, I would encourage you to reach out to me. I can be reached at 239-287-2576, or you can find me on my website, again, www.yournaplesexpert.com. And before I leave, I wanted to share again, things are available. Just this weekend, I got 3 of my clients under contract for homes that they're going to purchase. Are they paying a little bit more than they would have last year at the same time? Absolutely. But are they going to be high and dry and in a bad situation? Perhaps not. They're in good company with a market right now that is performing. It's not as though they are the only ones that have paid a premium on their home. They're with a whole wave of buyers from this year. And at the end of the day, they're purchasing homes that they love. It's still within their budget. And they'd rather start enjoying it now instead of pushing it out, waiting to see if something shakes free next year this time. If you've been considering buying and you're disappointed with the inventory and looking forward to inventory as it would historically go up in January, that is good news. I expect we'll see a little bit more inventory as we turn through the holidays and enter into the new year. But I do want to remind people, not only are the number of homes available going up, but the number of buyers will go up as well, because people show up here and they're renting or they're in their current homes and they're here in person and they're shopping actively for their homes. So again, I always say, set your boundaries, know what you want, know what you're willing to do, know what you're willing to walk away from, and get partnered with a great, experienced, and dedicated real estate agent so they can help you make smart decisions in this tough market. And for those of you sellers, I would share that even though homes are selling much easier than perhaps they have in the past, easier defined by getting more money and it's selling quicker, don't be mistaken. Real estate agents can still add a ton of value and helping manage through to both maximize your profits, but also minimize the number of headaches you have during that process. And I'll give you one example. I see homes go off the market like that, and then they come back on the market because we're in this strange world and time in the world where people are shooting and then aiming. So they're getting a house under contract. They are changing their mind in 24 hours, 48 hours, 3 days, and then you're cycling back through that same process. I can tell you with only a few exceptions, that has not happened to my listings because we're doing as much diligence as we can on the front end to make sure that we're making informed, educated decisions to get you to close on a deal that makes sense for you. So again, happy holidays, God bless, and wishing you a fantastic 2022.